Again, you already know most of it. I promise you that. A lot of you guys know more than you think. And again, nutrition comes down to you and only you. You can hire somebody, you can have professionals help you, you can have a diet written out for you. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to self-discipline and what the choices that you make. And again, so why not start with things that you already know? Call it the anti-dopamine effect. One of the easiest tips and the best tips as far as nutrition goes and how to change the way you eat is write a food log. Now, it could be on your phone. I do not think that it is as powerful as if you were writing it down on a piece of paper and a notepad. But I do think that you should start writing a food log. If you are unaware or you're really struggling with discipline and trying to figure out, making good choices, what should you eat, you actually know a lot more than you think. You at least know what's unhealthy. I promise you that. And so the food log, if you're gonna have to submit it or at least give it to somebody too, that's another big part of it. So you gotta have somebody that's kind of can hold you accountable. What it does is dopamine is that release, and that's where people get addicted to, because you have that satisfactory feeling of joy and you love it and you get this great reward. It's like having a checklist and you mark off that. Let's say you finish a task and you cross it off, right? You get dopamine rush. That's why people get addicted to drugs, carbohydrates, other things like that. But the dopamine, anti-dopamine, is when you have to write something down that you know is unhealthy, that you know you should not be eating. So that's why I go into that food log aspect. If you write it down, you won't want to write it down. That's the thing. So when you start realizing, you'll make choices and you'll start eliminating things right off the bat that you already know. So you won't want to write down that soda. You won't want to write down that candy. You won't want to write down that, extra double, triple cheeseburger from McDonald's or something, right? You will automatically know, man, I shouldn't be doing this. So that creates the anti-dopamine effect. It really pushes off guilt. And then you start making choices where you're like, I don't want to write it down. So what ends up happening is you start becoming aware. Then you start making a little bit better choices. That is the best place to start for anybody who's looking to start for something nutrition-wise. And then once you get going, then you can start seeking out a little bit more professional help for more guidance. But you say, I don't know how many calories I eat. I don't know how to estimate how many carbs, how much protein, how many grams. That doesn't really matter. Or if I had lunch, I had a sandwich, write down. I had 2 slices of sprouted grain bread. I had a half a chicken breast or something like that, right? An avocado. You just kind of list it out. The other thing you do in a meal guide is in a food log, you want to write down what time. That's another big one. What time did I eat? Write down every single time. Did you have activity? If you had activity, write that down as well. Those are the kinds of things that are really, really important to add. Again, writing the food log, food journal, and having that written down holds you accountable to you. So you're not making these piss poor decisions and basically just kind of being able to do it. And then looking back 2 years later when you're morbidly obese and you have, diabetes and all sorts of other health issues, right? So we want to make sure that we get and curb these behaviors immediately or as quickly as possible and start making changes today. And the way you do that, again, the first step is write down and start writing down all your food so you create that food journal. If you find these tips helpful, for more information, nomoresoftness.com.